Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorda, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib. We got a great show for you today, and if you want to call and ask questions, 323-870-3857. Let's get started with it. DAZN. Wonderful card over there. Conor Benn versus Peter Dobson. Beeb, listen, man. Why are we paying for this? Why would anybody pay for this nonsense? This was a pay-per-view. Just answer me that first before we even go into the fight. Is this worth $20 a month for?
This fight was not one of the greatest fights.
Thank you.
No.
All right, there you go. The answer to the question, yes or no? It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no. No, it's not, is it?
Yeah.
Not even close.
Stop leading the
Was
witness.
this worth, let me say, let's break it down. $5 a week. $5 a week. All right, that equals 20. All right. Was it worth $5?
Probably 5. I wouldn't say it's.
Was it 5? Really? 5? You'd have paid 5. So you would have plunked down $5 to watch that fight.
We had this discussion.
If it was
last
on
week.
pay-per-view.
This is like asking a crack addict if they would fucking pay $20 for some crack. I mean,
this
you're asking a sick person.
This, I mean, listen, and again, if this was something that didn't include pay-per-view, I'd be all over it. And you say $30 a month, I'll do it. All right, I'll do it. You know, but paying for this nonsense and then having to pay extra to watch Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou, a guy that has what? One professional fight, by the way, one professional fight, right?
You're not going to buy that one?
Yeah, I'm going to buy that one.
Okay.
But a guy that has one professional fight, why would that be on pay-per-view though? That's not a pay-per-view card. That's not a pay-per-view fight. $30 a month. I would say this. At $30 a month, which is what they charge if you don't have a contract. Because if you pay $20 a month, then you have to pay, you're in. You have to pay it for the entire year. I get it.
Mine's $18.75 a month.
Anywho, all right. So $30 a month, right? Because it might as well be 60 because you have to cancel 30 be that as it may. $30 a month. And I get that. That is what I get. No, thank you. Yeah. No way. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I think
I am your leader. I am with you. Why would I pay $30 a month? Exactly. I'm not going to.
I think Eddie's trying to keep Conor busy. And Peter
Good. And he does it on our dime.
No, but Peter Dobson, I thought was going to go the distance. A lot of people thought he was going to get knocked out. I've seen him fight before. He's a decent sized fighter. He was big, thick kid. I thought he was big enough to handle Conor Benn. I thought he was durable enough, and I thought he was crafty enough to go to 12. He's good at rolling shots. He's good at rolling shots. He's a little sneaky counter puncher. Another one of these guys that has a pretty tight defense. And Conor Benn was landing some good right hands every now and then, but he was rolling, like I said, rolling a lot of the shots, and he was kind of rolling and shooting back with his right hand. So
that's the way to do it. Yeah, it really is the way to do it. Is is come off that counter like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
The kid could fight, but Conor Benn, he's a little rough around the edges. But with that being said, he is an explosive kid. He's fast. He's got fast hands, fast feet. But he goes one speed. You know what I mean? And everything is pedal to the metal, full blast. He's the guy's stuck in fourth gear, right?
Yeah.
And tends to kind of get a little wild with these shots, loads up. And because he's so quick and athletic, he can get away with it with this level of opposition. Question is, when he steps up, I don't know if he's going to get away with it because he was getting touched up a little bit yesterday. Nothing serious, but he was getting his head snapped back on occasion, got hit with a few uppercuts up close. Dobson was able to make Conor Benn have to work, right? And he came out a little bit slow, Dobson, but then he started feeling comfortable, started picking up the pace himself. Conor Benn got caught off guard a little bit, but Conor Benn was the busier guy. He was landing more shots, and he was backing up Dobson in large stretches of the round in this fight. But Dobson was there to the very end. He hung in there. He made Conor Benn work. And Conor Benn had a good performance. It was kind of like a good workman-like performance.
I mean, this guy, it was like a sparring session, no? 119, what was the scores here? 119, 109, 118, 110 twice. I mean, this was a little over a glorified sparring session, no?
Yeah, I gave Dobson 2 rounds. You maybe could have given him 3, but I gave him 2. So it was a clear decision for Conor Benn, but it wasn't anything that would set the world on fire. With all due respect to Peter Dobson, he's like probably a top 25, top 30 guy. And he was hanging in there. You know what I mean? He was competitive in spots, right? And I know it's a fight, and I know you're not, you're going to have some resistance, but he offered up a lot more resistance than people expected. And even the commentators were surprised that he was able to land some of these shots clean on Conor Benn.
Yeah.
Conor Benn does get a little overzealous, a little over aggressive in there. Like I said, his offense isn't overly sophisticated, at least when you compare him to other fighters at 147. There's a lot of decent fighters up there that are going to give him problems. Like Boots Ennis, I think would tear him apart. And then I guess Tank was calling him out. I even think Tank would probably beat him.
What is going on? And I tell you, what is going on with Tank? I mean, that's a guy, another guy who, who's he got next? You know what I mean?
It's funny too, because he said he hinted that his next fight was in the UK a couple of weeks ago. Conor Benn's due to have that suspension, or what? Suspension's lifted, but that appeal is supposed to come up. I think more than likely going to win the appeal, so he'll probably be able to box sometime after. I'm
sure Eddie can afford that appeal. I'm sure Eddie can afford to wipe that off his record.
Yeah, so he should be cleared to box in the UK by the end of February. So imagine if they do Tank.
It's a big one.
Tank and Conor Benn in the UK.
That's a big one, right? That's huge. That's a huge fight.
That would be amazing, bro.
Huge fight. But I think that Tank crushes him. I think if Conor Benn, again, they were talking about who was what is his name? The other guy, the one who was going to fight him.
Chris Eubank Jr.
Eubank Jr. That's it.
Yeah.
So Eubank Jr. says he's not interested in fighting Benn at all.
Well, here's the problem. Now, if Conor Benn doesn't have a license from the BBOC and he's not licensed to fight in Great Britain, and he fights somebody in Great Britain, that fighter that fights him could jeopardize their license. So I believe Chris Eubank, is just waiting for everything to get settled and cleared, and then he'll sign for the fight. I'm still not crazy about that fight because I think Chris Eubank Jr. is going to hurt the kid if he fights him.
I thought so too. I've always thought that. And
based off what I've seen in these last 2 fights, where he's not able to hurt these guys, because these last 2 fights, I think one of them was at like 150, 152-ish, 153-ish, and this one was at 150, right? Mm-hmm. And he's not putting a dent in these guys, right? So if he can't hurt Chris Eubank Jr., that's going to be a problem for him.
For sure.
And I know Chris Eubank Jr. can hurt him.
Yeah.
I know that.
Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure.
So I think that's a bad fight for Conor Benn, really.
Now, this next one is interesting. Joshua Buatsi versus Dan Aziz. Excuse me. Buatsi wins a unanimous decision over Aziz by the scores of 116, 110, 117, 109 twice. Buatsi knocked down Aziz twice in the 11th. And it was interesting because I couldn't find this fight anywhere, and it wasn't listed anywhere. But I talked to Beebs today, and he said it was on Peacock. So I went back and looked at the stream. That Peacock, that is a nice stream.
Beautiful.
We were talking about that earlier, man. That stream is flawless.
And
you said you were watching that fight on your phone and you can make calls and everything like that. I mean, it's a heck of an app. Yeah.
When I was at the gym, I started watching the card on my phone and people called me. Yeah. And I just muted the stream and I was able to talk and watch at the same time. You can't do that with the Zone and ESPN Plus. You have to, have the app on without being on the phone. But that was a very, very good fight. Now, here's the thing with that fight. The scores were wide. But we talk about how you can win every round or win a majority of the rounds, but the rounds still be competitive. So the scorecard's not always an accurate description on how competitive the fight is.
Yeah, for sure.
This was that. Now, I had it 118 and 108. I only gave Aziz 2 rounds, but I could see 3. 4 is not impossible, but I think the consensus was probably 3, right? I gave him 2. But thing about Buatsi, since he's gotten with Virgil Hunter, he's real. I remember watching him early in his career, and he was more of an outboxer, but he's really added a wrinkle to his game. He's a phenomenal inside fighter, and he's a much, much better combination puncher. The way he sets shots up, he throws feints now. He's got when we talk about sophisticated offenses, since he's got with Virgil Hunter, his offense has gotten much more sophisticated than it was early on. Before, he had some Conor Benn like tendencies because he's an athletic, quick guy too.
Yeah.
But now he realizes that now that he's stepping up, he's got to add more layers and bring more to the table than just his athleticism. And he showed that. Dan Aziz, I think, was just a step too slow in comparison to Buatsi. And Buatsi, I think, is a better inside fighter, puts the shots together a little bit more fluidly up close. But Dan Aziz had some success from the outside. He landed a good jab every now and then. And he, the right hand was pretty sharp from distance. And he can hold his own on the inside, but Buatsi is just on another level when it comes to inside fighting in comparison to him. And Buatsi was doing beautiful body work. He threw some really sharp uppercuts. And in that 11th round, Buatsi kind of stepped back a little bit and let Aziz come in because Aziz knew he was behind. So he's coming out a little bit more aggressive. And I think I gave him the 11th, right? So no, I didn't give him the 11th. But I saw him come on in the 11th a little bit because he knew he was behind and his trainer was really urgent.
Yeah, he was down. Wasn't he down twice in the 11th? Was that?
Yeah, he was down twice.
Okay.
He was down twice in the 11th, right? Because he knew that he was behind and he
tried to go.
He had to come out strong. And Buatsi, Buatsi with his experience and his poise and just having been this added layer of development in his boxing ability, right? Talk about adding the layers. He stepped back and just shot a counter right hand and caught him reaching in. So I think Buatsi, right, arguably could be the best based off of just potential and eye test. He could be the best fighter in the light heavyweight in the UK. He could be the best light heavyweight in the UK. Now, better be even Bivol. They're on another level. But this guy could be the next guy underneath them, right? He has a lot of talent, Buatsi. So I think he could beat Caleb Smith, I think he could beat guys like Lyndon Arthur, right?
He's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of talent. And I'll tell you what, and I'm glad you mentioned
Anthony Yard.
Virgil Hunter. Anthony Yard, that's a good fight.
I may favor him. He probably can beat Anthony Yard too.
Yeah.
Because he has a lot more weapons in his repertoire.
That's what we like. That's what we like. More ways to win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's what it's about. We talk about Virgil Hunter a lot. And, we've seen Virgil Hunter do great with Andre Ward.
Correct.
And not so great with a lot of other fighters.
Yep.
And he seems to have made a difference here.
He has.
And, we always take for granted that just because somebody goes and trains with, Emmanuel Stewart, you know what I mean? That he's going to be great. And that's not always the case. Look at Jermaine, what was the guy's name? Jermaine Taylor. Still just never really bought in. you know, and I think you have to buy into what Virgil, but you also have to be the style of fighter he likes and that he can train, you know what I mean? And that he works well with. And I think maybe he's found him with this guy.
Correct. This is one of those relationships that clicks. You could see it.
For sure.
You can see it. You can
For
see
sure.
it. He's in the corner, he's listening, and he follows the instructions. He's a very good fighter. I think I would absolutely love to see him versus Anthony Yard.
It's a good fight.
Love that, but I have a feeling because of I don't want to get ahead of the schedule here, but that June 1st card that's supposed to come up, they're supposed to do a 5-on-5. I have a feeling it's going to be Callum Smith versus Anthony Yard because it's going to be the Frank Warren versus Eddie Hearn card.
Oh, that's a good one. I
have a feeling they will do Callum Smith versus Anthony Yard because that's another huge fight. You know, so
that's awesome, man. That is awesome.
But
And that's going to go over huge in England too.
Buatsi, I think Buatsi is the WBA mandatory, or at least he's going to be the WBA mandatory when they order it. So he will be in line for a title shot. I think he was offered a shot at, I believe it was Bivol, but he didn't take it. So hopefully this time, if he is offered a title shot, maybe he does take it. So we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, everybody smash that like button if you guys are out there and you guys are enjoying what we're doing. Go ahead and hit the like button, man. It doesn't cost you anything. I mean, come on. Help us out here. All right, let's talk about that was it for the action. Let's go to next week. It is February 4th. Okay, talk to me about this again, Beeb. Why is this fight on a Thursday? February 8th, ESPN, Teofimo, Jermaine Ortiz. Why is this fight on a Thursday?
Yeah, I guess they're saying because it's Super Bowl week, and they don't want to kind of
Saturday. I mean, Saturday.
Yeah, I'm hearing
dude.
that.
Like that's. I mean, if you're gonna put on a fight, Super Bowl weekend is. Why would you not put it on there?
And then they're talking about I think there's college basketball on at that time.
I mean,
college football. I mean,
college basketball, but I mean, it's not. We're not in March Madness yet. You know,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
They
know what they're doing at ESPN, not me. But I'm just saying, it's weird to have it on a Thursday night. And then let's hope that it comes off at a good time and it's not midnight before we're getting the main event.
Yeah,
you know.
So we'll see.
So let's talk about this here. February Thursday, ESPN Plus. Teofimo Lopez Jr. versus Jermaine Ortiz for Lopez's WBO junior welterweight title. I don't hate the fight. It's not a bad fight.
I like the fight a lot.
It's a pretty good fight. Ortiz isn't bad.
Jermaine Ortiz is live in this.
He's alive. Yeah, this is a live dog here, man.
And if Teofimo Lopez is off just a smidge,
yeah,
he could lose this fight. He could lose.
For sure, he could lose this fight. For sure, he could lose this fight
because Jermaine Ortiz is a very well-rounded fighter, and I think where Jermaine Ortiz can excel here is on the inside because Teo likes to fight in that mid-range, likes to move a little. He likes to move around a lot, go in and out a lot. He's very athletic, really good counterpuncher. Mm-hmm. But, you know, Jermaine Ortiz is really good at throwing feints. He's a slickster, and he's tough. He's very well-rounded. He knows how to fight.
This isn't a walk in the park, man, or it shouldn't be anyway.
And he hits hard enough where he can get your attention. He's not a feather-fisted fighter.
I will tell you this, though. I don't know what it is about Teofimo, but anytime you think he's going to be in a tough fight, it's like he walks him.
Well, here's the problem, too, with Teofimo. Here's the problem, too, with Teofimo. He's already looking ahead, and he's talking about all these other fights with Matias and Haney and Tank and all this. And he's not really talking much about Ortiz. Yeah. So we've seen Teo be up and down. He won a razor close decision against Sandor Martin. Some people actually think he lost that fight, right?
Yeah.
So if he's not dialed in, and he's not like motivated for the fight, right?
Yeah, it could definitely be.
And this could be a potential banana skin.
D-Style, thank you so much, my friend. Ortiz is the rider of those divisions, going to be known for losses. He could be right. He could be right.
Show the guy some respect, man, please. He's from Massachusetts.
It's not like he's from Titletown. I mean, come on.
He's not from El Paso. He's from Massachusetts.
He's from El Paso.
He's from Beantown, baby.
That's right. Yeah, I got ties to El Paso too. Hey, we can make that Titletown as well. That's where D-Style is, in El Paso. Yeah, that's a stomping ground.
That's not Titletown, please.
It's not. Oh, stop it. What's the matter with you?
We're Titletown, man. We got the Patriots. We got the Celtics. I mean, this is
a
winning team.
Rocky Marciano. You got the Brown. Who?
Rocky Marciano. Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Come on,
they didn't have cars back then. Marciano, wasn't he barefisted? Wasn't he the bare knuckles? Marciano? Come on, stop it. We talking about Ezra Charles' son.
He was good.
Ezra Charles, bad boy.
But guess who knocked him out?
Who?
Rocky Marciano.
He was 110 years old when he fought him.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, he was.
He's not like that guy. Yeah, coming to America. So
he was like Joe Louis, 156 years old when he fought him.
He was 135 years old when he fought him. That's hilarious.
All right, on the undercard of the Teofimo Lopez fight, and it's not a bad undercard either, I'll tell you that. Keyshawn Davis versus Jose Pedraza, 10 rounds, lightweights. That's a good fight. That's a really good fight. Now, listen, man, Keyshawn should win this. Jose Pedraza is not the same fighter he was. It's still a dangerous fight. It's still a good, I want to see it. You know what I mean? It's still a good fight. Abdullah Mason, who's a good fighter, up-and-comer, versus Benjamin Gurment. Let's see here. Who else here? Oh, the page just refreshed. God darn it. Let's see here. Javier Martinez versus Raul Solomon. Charlie Sheehy versus Abdel Sauceda, excuse me. So like I said, the top three will be on ESPN, I imagine. Abdullah Mason, Keyshawn, and Teofimo. I like it. I like the card. I think it's going to be good. And hey, he's going to break it up on a Thursday,
I like it. It's a good card.
Even G Funky said Joe Louis was 175 years old when they fought. I told you.
G, please. Come on, G.
That's what I got to do. I got to get a suit in my profile picture. How good he looks in the suit and everything like that. He's all dressed up, man. I got to get that, man. I got to put that in my profile.
Please, G, don't gas this kid up.
You know what we got to do is we got to get me in a suit and I'll put that logo of Baltimore in the back. I'm the king of Baltimore.
G Funky's the boss. You can't be G Funky. Come on.
I'm a swagger jacker. What am I going to do?
Only be one boss.
We're his underbosses. Yeah, that's right.
Only one guy gets the ring kiss.
Hey, it is what it is. Maybe we could be a capo in this crew. I don't know.
Capo in his crew, man. You have to fill out an application.
Good luck. And then the 10th. This will be on the Saturday on DAZN, Beeb. This is a fantastic card. Liam Dillon versus Reese Bellotti, 12 rounds for Dillon's British Junior lightweight title. On the undercard, the co-main there, Shannon Ryan versus Emma Dolan, 10 rounds for the vacant British Junior bantamweight women's title. Beeb, what is this nonsense?
Great. It's a great card, man.
What is this nonsense, Beeb? I want to know. I'm holding, you know what? I'm done. I'm holding you personally responsible for the crap that DAZN puts out there until they put out a good fight. I'm holding you responsible.
I mean, I'm paying $18.75 a month for it. Man.
You're paying $18.75 a month.
Paying $18.75 a month for
to see Liam Dillon and Reese Bellotti.
It's cheaper than going down to the local Chinese buffet and getting a dinner 15A, man. I mean, I can't complain.
A dinner 15A? What is 15A?
Lobster sauce, fried rice, boneless spare ribs, and chicken fingers. One of my favorites. It's a beef classic when he goes down. Did you know lobster sauce doesn't contain any lobster at all? No, it's ground pork.
No, the sauce itself is not made with lobster at all.
No, it's ground pork.
They don't make the sauce with ground pork. Ground pork is in the dish, but they don't make the sauce with
ground
pork.
You're talking about the liquid part of it. Yeah,
yes,
you know what it is?
That's called the sauce.
It's
chicken stock and eggs or something, isn't it?
No, it's chicken stock, oyster sauce.
Yeah, I like oyster sauce.
Black bean sauce.
That's good too. And
a little bit of sherry. The Beeb has made that homemade before.
I'm going to tell you what. I would
never get it restaurant quality though.
I got to work at a Chinese restaurant just for a week. That's it. That's all I would need.
You'll put on at least 20 pounds. That food is so addictive.
At least. I know. It's my favorite. It's by far my favorite food.
When I go to the buffet and I go up like 1 or 2 times, they have to refill all the pans. I love the buffet, man. The buffet's insane. I love the buffet.
We had one Chinese buffet. Like you could go up there and you get a plate and you're just stuffed afterwards.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what they do. I don't know what kind of chemical is on there, but you are just stuffed. I'm like, I can't move.
They put stuff in that food that makes you want to eat and eat and eat. Should be illegal.
MSG. It's that MSG, isn't it? They put in there
all types of chemicals.
Accent. It's remember Accent is like the store brand is Accent, but that's MSG.
Yeah. Once you start eating that food, man,
better,
it fires up all the excitotoxins in your body. And you just want to eat more, man.
I could care less, man. Listen, they could put crack in that food, and I'd still be eating it. All right, I wouldn't care. It's so good. Would you eat it with crack in it?
I plead the fifth. I feel like I'm on the witness stand when I come on this show. I'm fucking interrogated. Gonna get me fired one day by this line of questioning.
JC said oysters are a natural Viagra. There you go.
I don't have to worry about that, man.
You take regular Viagra?
Talk to Robbie. Captain Cialis.
He said the blue pill. He said, there's a blue pill and another pill. I just take the blue pill. It doesn't matter. Aztecs 18 said they put cancer in that food.
Please.
Listen, we're going to go sometime, man. I might as well go eating Chinese. I don't care. Tony Yayo says he's scared of buffets since COVID. Do not.
I've had people say that.
Food scene. Yeah, I don't. You know what? I get it. I get it. I get it. I don't go to buffets. My dad loved buffets, so he would always go to. We would always go to buffets or whatever. But I was never really that big on buffets, man. I never really was. Because you see like all these people like dipping food out and stuff like that, but it's all like utensils and stuff. I mean, it's all clean until you get the dude sneezing over there.
Little kids will run up to it and just stick their fingers.
I know, right? What is that? Grabbing a big hand of whatever.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Yeah, I like steakhouses too. JC said steakhouses. I like steakhouses too.
The Outback Steakhouse, get a nice blooming onion.
Those are good. Who would have thought you'd eat a whole onion and not complain about it? You know what I mean? Like a whole onion.
I feel like I got an anvil in my stomach after I eat one of those things.
Oh, I know, right? Brazilian steakhouses. He's right. Brazilian steakhouses are the best. You ever eat one of those?
I have, yeah.
Oh, those are ridiculous, man. They bring out those big skewers and they just slice the meat off on there and they just keep coming, boy.
7,000 grams of sodium in that food, too.
Can you imagine? Yeah. I mean, for sure. For sure. D Style and Alexander Wilson said buffets, say no to buffets. Buffets are very dirty. I think that's probably true. I think that's probably, I don't care.
I mean, listen to them. They're elitists, all right? They're above going to buffets.
How do you know, like the food trucks and stuff that you stop at? You know what I'm saying?
Those guys go to 5-star restaurants, man. They're too good to go to buffets. Don't listen to them.
Texas has the best steaks. I gotta say you're probably right. Yeah. I mean, why not? All right, here. So let's go. We did the upcoming fights. All right, news and rumors here. Let's talk about the big elephant in the room called Tyson Fury. Your boy, Beeb. Fury and Usyk postponed to May 18th. Fury suffered a cut in sparring, and let me tell you what, it's bad. They've already rescheduled for May 18th, but honestly, man, I don't know if that's enough time. That cut is massive. It happened in sparring. His sparring partner looked like he threw a short, what was it, left hand, wasn't it?
It's kind of like an elbow.
It was a short left hand that missed, and he caught him with his elbow. His partner didn't it wasn't, it wasn't intentional or anything like that. It's just, they were both fighting inside. He threw a short left hand, missed him with his fist and came across with his elbow. Yeah. And let me tell you what, nothing opens up a cut faster than an elbow. You've seen it in MMA a million times. As soon as you get tagged with that elbow, as hard as it is and stuff, you're opening up. Especially anywhere around the eye where your skin is thinner, anywhere around the eye when you're right on bone, you're opening up, man. And it's bad, man. They need 11. You said 15 stitches for this cut.
That was 15. Yeah.
Yeah, and now he needed 46 after the Wallen fighter. You said 48 or something like that.
47
somewhere around
stitches,
there.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, man. And again, they postponed it to what, May 18th.
Correct.
May 18th. All right. And I'm gonna tell you, man, that it's a bad cut. And you got to figure the scar tissue. You said that it's on the same eye as the Usyk or as the Otto Wallin.
Yeah, same
Yeah,
eye.
same
Yeah.
eye.
Not as bad. Not as bad. It's not as long, but it is deep. Like
Deep.
it's
It
a
looked
deep cut.
real deep.
It's a
I
deep cut.
guarantee that was to the bone. I
Yeah.
bet you any money that was to the bone.
Could
You
have been,
know, because
Very well could have
it
been.
looked really bad. You know, but I don't. My big fear is that, like I said, man, I don't know that it's going to be 100% ready. You know, again, you got 6 weeks to heal, and then you got a training camp for another 8 weeks. I know Usyk, when he heard the news, started sparring. He's not he doesn't care. He's in shape. He'll go.
Yeah.
But Beeb, do you think he'll be ready by May 18th?
Well, I look at the other fight with Wilder, the rematch, and the Wallen fight happened, I think, with the 47 stitches. The Wallen fight happened like 4.5 months after that. The second Wilder fight, happened 4.5 months after the Wallen fight, and that was with 47 stitches.
Talk about 3 months here, man. 3 months.
Yeah,
this 3 month turnaround.
This is going to be, so what are we in February? So
yeah, little over 3 months, maybe 3 months and some change,
February
like a week
March,
or two.
March, April to May. It's like 3.5 months, 4 to 6 weeks.
You're looking at 12 weeks. About 15 weeks? Let's say about 15 weeks.
15 weeks, exactly. So it's 15 weeks, right? So it's 3 months and 3 months and 3 weeks. So it's almost,
so
almost
8 weeks
months.
to train, 6 months to heal, or 6 weeks to heal, 8 weeks to train.
Yeah, I believe he'll be. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine.
You know, I just, anytime somebody gets cut like that, I worry about it. You know what I mean? Because that's a big time cut.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine, and I think that was a freak accident, and it was very unfortunate. And even with the headgear on, you still have that space.
Why?
You know,
and we talked about this too. Now it was like a more open headgear, but they do have like the winning headgear that comes in. They have certain ones that come in like that and protect the cheeks.
He had the cheek protectors. He did,
but he didn't have the nose bar across the front.
He didn't have the nose bar.
And when you do that, it like, it takes all this out. And I don't know if he was sparring with those, if he would have got cut over his eye. To be honest.
It's still possible, but
it's possible, but not probable.
Maybe it would have been harder. I don't want to speculate one way or the other.
But it does, it's not. I understand why they want the open face. I get it. Don't get me wrong.
Because you got to understand, you could still get the elbow in that eye.
Yeah.
That eye space. So,
but I think they got to think about this, especially when all this money's on the line.
Yeah.
All this stuff's on the line. There's certain precautions I think you probably need to take.
Maestro made a good point. He said, "Why don't the sparring partner wear elbows next? For the next camp, elbow pads." And another thing I would say is,
I'm not 100% sure. I will tell you this: I'm not 100% sure that would have protected him.
Yeah,
when you get hit with an elbow, I mean, maybe
it's just. I know the bony part is what does the damage, but it's also the pressure too. Like the amount of blunt force trauma that you suffer.
Well, you can grind your forearm and you know what I mean? And it hurts, man. It really does. Again, especially when you're dealing with any kind of skin on the face or around your eye, forehead, anywhere. Yeah, you're opening up, man. Yeah. And D-Style's right. It was a freak accident. No question. Yeah. No question about it. Definitely a freak accident. And, that's the thing. I mean, he's right. It's a freak accident. And we can Monday morning quarterback it all day long. But again, this is probably how he always gets ready. I know he was probably going to stop sparring here soon, but this is how he always gets ready for fights. So it's great to say he could have, would have, should have, but if this is how he always does it, it's tough.
Yeah.
I guess my question too, does this affect Usyk in any way? And personally, I don't think it does. I think that Usyk is just one of those guys that this is what he does.
Well, here's what people forget. Since Usyk moved up to heavyweight, right? He's fought once a year. He's fought once a year since moving up to heavyweight. And after the Joshua first fight, he didn't fight him again until 11 months later, right? And then he was off a whole year before he fought Daniel Dubois. So So Usyk's had long breaks in between fights. It's not just because he was waiting around for Fury. Like I said, he's fought once a year since 2019. Right? So it doesn't seem to affect him. I think the breaks affect Fury more than they affect Usyk, because Fury's he's kind of that guy that's volatile in between fights. He's not
right.
I don't think he's as disciplined with his diet and stuff. But again, he looked in phenomenal shape.
He looked in good shape.
Yeah, he looked in really good shape. He didn't look this good since the Klitschko fight, in my opinion.
But I'll keep going back to this, man. And logically on paper, Fury has more ways to win, because we can see Fury knocking him out. I can see it because he's a big guy. He's knocked out Deontay Wilder. Why couldn't he knock out this guy? He can knock you out because he's so big. He can outbox you. He's bigger. He can outpunch you. Usyk is also a great boxer. Usyk's also a really great boxer. But what I'm looking at is that last fight with Ngannou.
Yeah.
And if AJ goes in, I'm going to tell you this. If that'll be the telltale sign. If AJ goes in there and wipes out Ngannou like we're all expecting, at least like I'm expecting, then I think that Fury fight is on the writing's on the wall. I really do.
So, let me ask you this. Why not just take that Ngannou fight out and just say, hey, that was a bad night? And then.
Because it was who it was against. It was against a guy whose skill level was nowhere near what Fury had. Nowhere near. That would have been like, it was just. The guy had no skill level. Again, you're taking a guy who does this part, a different sport, putting him into the ring. That's like taking somebody out of like ping pong, putting him in front of Serena Williams. You know what I mean? Or whoever the tennis guy is now. It's two different sports.
But could he have been just a little bit better than we thought he was?
No. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to reserve judgment on that, because I've already said I don't think he's that good. But I will tell you this, because he didn't look great in that fight. I'll be honest with you. Ngannou didn't look great in that fight. It's not like he was fighting like he looked like Sugar Ray Leonard out there.
Okay.
He was plodding. He was just, but he was controlling that fight, I think, with his power, and he knocked him down. Again, it's going to depend on, and I know you always hear me say combat math doesn't work, but what we're looking at is Ngannou, his durability, not Tyson's durability. Now we're going to look at Ngannou's durability. And again, he got this fight off a loss, not a win, off a loss. AJ will run right through him in 4 rounds. That's what I'm predicting.
Yeah,
that's what it should be.
I'm predicting a decision. I think AJ is going to kind of fight a little bit more reserved in this fight, because he knows he's got bigger fights down the road, and I don't think he wants to take any chances with this guy, because this guy is very durable. You see the size of this guy's neck. See the size of this guy's head.
No, listen, man, that guy's a big, strong guy.
So yeah,
a big, strong guy. Listen, and you're not going to be able to. There's certain things again that you have to take into consideration. You're not going to be able to rough this guy up as far as like grab him and move him around and everything. He's going to be stronger than you, and he's going to be more skilled in that department than
Joshua's not a great inside
boxing.
Yeah. Joshua's not a great inside fighter either. This guy's knows how to grapple a little bit, and
he does.
He knows how to muck it up. He knows how to muck it up a little bit on the inside.
But I'll be honest, his boxing didn't look good. His boxing did not look good against Fury. And the way he was able to handle Fury in that fight, like I said, we both gave him the fight.
Yeah, I thought he won the fight.
So if he comes out and does the same thing to AJ, the Tyson Fury thing, off the table. Then we don't even need to talk about that anymore, because we know he's pretty good.
You don't think that Fury just didn't think that?
It doesn't matter. Let me tell you, it doesn't matter, Beef. I don't care if he took vacation all through, didn't train a lick, and got in there. It shouldn't have mattered.
So your argument is even Fury at his worst should never struggle with that?
Never.
Okay.
Never.
All right. I think we're going to see a much better Fury against Usyk. I think the conditioning shows that. I think he was grossly out of shape. And here's what you have to understand.
Knocked down, Beeb.
I understand.
Put on his behind.
But they scheduled a fight 5 weeks later after the Ngannou fight. You know what I'm saying? They scheduled a fight 5 weeks later after the Ngannou fight. So they just really probably didn't.
Listen, man, and you could say Fury, Greba says Fury came in looking like a piece of lard.
I just don't think Fury.
Listen, we've seen him come in. He's never been a body beautiful when he came in there. His first and second fight against Wilder, he looked awful.
I just don't think
physically.
I just don't think mentally Fury felt there was a threat there, and I just think he wasn't dialed in for the fight. He didn't have fear there. He didn't have a fear of losing.
Again,
right?
It shouldn't matter.
Sometimes when you like a lot of times like Sugar Ray Leonard, I go back to that Kevin Howard fight, and when he got knocked down there, because again, he just didn't get up for the if you don't get Teofimo Lopez lost George Kambosos, Sandor Martin had struggled. If you're not mentally dialed in and you don't have that fear of losing, you don't have that threat in your mind, when you're looking at someone and you just don't have that threat, the warning bells don't go off in your head, and you just don't feel that there's danger there. Mm-hmm. It's hard to get up for that fight.
I get it. Kevin Howard, Sandor Martin, and Kambosos, all boxers though.
Yeah.
All boxers. We're still not even comparing apples to oranges, or apples to apples. We're still apples and oranges with this guy who doesn't even box, not a boxer at all.
Yeah.
Comes in here and does this to the world champion.
Yeah. You can't get past it, huh?
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. There's no way you can get past it.
You're going to be surprised.
If AJ struggles the same way, I'll be shocked.
But you're going to be surprised on May 18th.
I'm going to be surprised at how easy Usyk wins. Yes.
And I'm glad that I'm glad that there's a lot of people like you out there, because I'm going to get such great odds when I bet on.
What are the odds for the fight, by the way? I thought Fury was ahead on the odds. No,
he's a slight
favorite, right?
Slight favorite.
Yeah.
It's almost a pick'em.
Yeah, I would say, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's a pick'em.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I think Joshua will win a decision against Ngannou. I think Ngannou may win 2 or 3 rounds and that's it.
I think Joshua puts him away. I think they're stopping this.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Let's talk about this one too before we go to the phones here, and I'll bring Robbie on. So rumors are swirling that Canelo Alvarez will face the other Charlo brothers at Jermell. The heavier one is Jermell. And Jamal in May. All right. The other Charlo brother in May. And after that, he will fight Terrence Crawford in September, leaving Benavidez out in the cold.
Now
this was on ESPN. This was on, I know Stephen A was talking about it. Mike Coppinger, I think, had wrote about it, I believe. Don't quote me on that.
Keep in mind, this is the same ESPN, I think is ESPN Deportes or something like that. It was a Mexican.
Yes. And he's like a renowned journalist over there.
It's the same person that said he was going to fight Berlanga.
Oh, so stop it. Why are you bringing it? Come on, stop it, Beeb. You're always trying to take a dump on
You're very gullible.
You do it with Mike Coppinger, my personal friend, Mike Coppinger. You do it with him all the time.
You're
Let me
very
tell you what,
naive.
him and I don't approve. I'll just say that right out now.
You're very naive when it comes to believing these mainstream media propaganda sites. And I'm trying to help you.
These lamestream media.
I'm trying to help you.
I can't get to that whole conspiracy thing that you're in, man. I really can't. I can't get there yet. I'm trying. Don't get me wrong.
I don't want you to believe everything someone tells you. There's such a thing called bad journalism. And there's a lot of
saying, are you saying Mike Coppinger, bad journalist?
He's below average.
How dare you?
He's below average.
He worked that ring. What's the matter with you? Jesus. Show some decorum. You think the Benavidez fight happens?
I'm 99.9% sure it happens in September. If Canelo doesn't lose his next fight and Benavidez doesn't lose his next fight.
Who's he fighting next? Benavidez.
I would not be surprised if Benavidez fights Munguia next. I wouldn't be surprised.
Whoa, I would be shocked if he fights
Wouldn't be
Munguia next.
surprised.
I would think that Canelo would be more in line to fight Munguia next than Benavidez.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if he fights him next.
Yeah, G Funky, we were talking about this too. He says Crawford, me and you were talking about this before the show. He said Crawford is a real possibility next. That's a crazy fight.
Maybe I'm going to be honest with you. I'm 99.9% sure Benavidez in September.
Yeah.
I'm about 80% sure Crawford's in May.
Let me ask you a question. Do you
I
think
think
Crawford
Crawford's
wins
in
that
May.
fight? Listen, we all know he's slowing down. Canelo is slowing down. Crawford is a strong dude, man. And he knows how to fight.
Crawford can win that fight, but guess what?
Canelo should.
I think Canelo will win that fight.
I think Canelo should. Crawford could.
Canelo will win that fight.
That's a good fight, man. Wow, that's a good fight. You know what? I'm telling you right now, I love that fight. A lot of people are pissing on that fight. I love that fight.
Crawford's a phenomenal boxer, but Crawford is gonna hold his feet at some point in that fight, and when he does, he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit.
And so is Canelo, and he's a sharp puncher. Crawford is Crawford can get you out of there, man. And I think his power is going to carry. I really do. He's a big guy. He's a strong guy. Knows how to wrestle. Canelo's not going to be able to bully him around there either. Yeah. You know what I mean? Crawford knows how to wrestle. He knows how to inside fight. He knows how to turn.
Are you picking Crawford if that fight happens?
I'm taking Crawford.
Are you?
I am. I'm going to take Crawford in that fight. I love that. I love that fight. I love that matchup. And I think Crawford, again, is he going to bite off more than he can chew going up that high? Maybe. But I'm telling you,
you know what?
I think Crawford is the better fighter. He's got more ways to win. And I got a feeling, man. I got a feeling.
As much as I love that Benavidez fight, I don't want to say this, but I'll probably be rooting for Crawford. I just love Crawford, man.
I like Crawford too, man. But I like
Canelo too. But if Crawford was to win that fight, what a fucking
so good.
What a story that is.
Listen, man.
What a story that is.
Let's talk about this.
I'm going to be pulling for Crawford in that fight. I'm sorry.
Look,
I'm sorry, Canelo fans.
How about this? That was a 50-50 fight with him and Spence. 50-50.
Yeah.
And he annihilated him. That fight wasn't even close. So bad. How bad was it that Errol Spence doesn't want to do it again? That's how bad it was. That confidence gone.
Yeah.
That fast.
Yeah.
One fight.
I wouldn't want to do it again either.
And let me tell you what, man. I do you think Spence is going to be the same fighter if he comes back?
No.
No way.
No.
He took a beating in that fight.
I'm going to make my prediction right now. It's going to be Crawford in May, Benavidez in September.
And Spence was my guy.
Yeah.
Spence was my guy. You know this for the longest time. I was saying he, back then when he was coming up, that he was going to be the guy. And I had Spence through the fight, with the Crawford fight, Spence all the way, man. I had followed that guy since the Olympics, man, and I had never seen him get pieced up like that, and he was just done. And
Crawford, believe it or not, after beating Spence and doing that 700,000 pay-per-view buys, and he did that victory lap tour, and he was hitting all of the podcasts, and he was on all of everyone's show. He was on I think he was on this show, CBS show in the morning and stuff. He was putting himself out there. I think he's really increased his profile.
That's what he needed to do.
I think he did a good job of increasing his profile. I think
very well-spoken guy too.
Yeah, I think he kind of touched mainstream a little bit after that fight.
Yeah,
I really do. Yeah. And he came out, and you know what's crazy? He did a lot of media before and after that fight, and we used to complain about him not wanting to do media. But I think once he finally got that fight, his whole attitude changed. He was happier. Yes. He was less combative. He was less contentious. He just wanted that fight. And once he got that fight, I think it was like the weight of the world was off his shoulders. And
absolutely,
he wasn't as bitter and angry anymore. I really believe that. And he did, like you said, when he did do this media, he was great. He was honest. He was a very good interview. I just think he did a great job. I think he did a great job. You know, and he was on Joe Rogan twice. This is the second time he was on Joe Rogan, and this time, you know, it was everyone was like cutting up the clips, and then everyone was putting the stuff out there. He got a lot of eyeballs on him.
Yeah. And again, man, he's always been a very well-spoken guy. He just never talked to the media. And then when he had to talk to the media because it's a big fight, you know, he had to. And he came off great. I thought he really did. He came off great. But I love that Canelo fight. D-Style said he thinks it does better numbers than Benavidez. I agree. I absolutely agree.
I didn't used to think that, but I've seen Crawford's profile. A lot of people are talking about him. He's known. He's like I said, his profile has increased since that Spence fight, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Team Batman brings up another a really good, and this is what Canelo actually himself had actually brought up. Canelo got zero credit for beating the undisputed champ at 154. Surely he gets less credit for beating the undisputed 147, who's older, smaller, and has a worse punch. I don't think he has a worse punch resistance. I don't know how you could say that. I don't remember him being knocked down too many times.
He's done trying to get credit from people, man.
I agree. I think he can say that all he wants. Money talks, man. And if you're going to offer him a big sum of money,
he's done trying to get credit from people. He's walking in the Hall of Fame. He's set for life. He's playing golf with Tom fucking Brady. He doesn't give a fuck what you think about him. Doesn't. Now,
lives in San Diego now, I think, you know.
Yeah, you may not want to hear that. And sometimes I don't want to hear that. I don't like sometimes when he goes, I don't care what the people want. It hurts my feelings. But guess what?
I'm paying for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I'll take it on the chin. I'll get over it.
Right. You know?
That's my problem, not his.
Exactly. Let's see here. Let's go to the phones here. 530. Let's see here. Let me bring them on. 530. Robert, you're live.
Robbie, first, before we get started,
hello, guys.
Before we get started, I just want to apologize for something Eric said earlier in the show.
What'd I say?
Called you Captain Cialis.
I did not call you Captain. Robert, does that even sound like me?
I don't think.
I don't even know what you use Cialis for.
I don't think you really need it, Robert.
Joe, I don't have anything to do with those pills, so
yeah, Robbie's all natural, son.
That's right. Anyway, let me get
you did text me the other day to ask me how to get a prescription. Don't lie about that.
No. Anyway, let me get to boxing here. First of all, I hope we get more fights on Peacock. That's the best stream out of the three of them.
It was good, wasn't it?
Isn't that a great stream, Robbie?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday was the first time I'd been able to watch the Peacock stream for fights.
You see the commentary? Don't you love that commentary team though? Isn't that way better than DAZN?
Oh, absolutely. And I know they're only affiliated with Boxer and Ben Shalom, but I hope they get more fights. I mean, that was outstanding stuff yesterday.
Yeah.
And the fight wasn't too bad either. Number two, as far as Canelo goes, man, I hope you guys are right. Crawford in May, Benavidez in September. Sign me up for that. I'll take that all day long. And hey, I agree with both of you. I think Crawford's got a real shot to win this fight.
Yeah,
I really do. You know, I really do. Now, if he won the fight, obviously Canelo would want a rematch, which means the Benavidez fight would be off the table. Poor David Benavidez. He's earned the shot at this. He's earned the shot at Canelo. And he may never get it. You know, I'm
going to throw a curveball here. Listen to this.
Okay.
Listen to this.
Okay.
If Crawford beats Canelo, he's going to vacate those titles. He's not going to defend them. And guess what?
For sure.
And guess what?
No, stop it.
Canelo can still fight Benavidez for one of the vacant titles.
Oh,
yeah! Look at me. I'm getting pumped up. I'm going to do the Hulk Hogan right now. No, I'm not.
Give me Beeb. Let me bring you back to reality here. If Crawford wins, he's going to keep those titles for the rematch, so he can beat him twice.
He's going to vacate.
And you know what? Terrence Crawford.
He's going to vacate the titles.
Not if there's a rematch clause. No, he won't. No, he won't. Eric, do you disagree with me here?
What's this?
So you think there'll be a rematch clause in it?
In where? The Canelo fight? The Canelo and Crawford
Canelo
fight?
Crawford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know, but if they're trying to make the Benavidez fight, if they're serious about making the Benavidez fight in September, no. There'll be a rematch if Canelo loses. There'll be a rematch if Canelo loses. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. If
Yeah,
Canelo
for sure.
loses,
Absolutely, there will be.
I'm trying to tell you. I don't know, man. You don't think some of the other sanctioning bodies will strip him?
No, I think again they'll put a listen. What is it? Who's going to strip him? Who's going to strip him?
They won't strip him.
Who? WBC?
Nobody.
They're not stripping him. You kidding me? He's like Floyd. I mean, every generation we get this guy like Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo, where he's in. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? They're not touching those belts. They're not taking those belts from him because they know the sanctioning fees that they give him are going to be way more.
But PBC doesn't always do rematch clauses. I know they did one for the Crawford Spence.
I don't care what PBC does or doesn't do. You're talking about Canelo, his managers, his people, everything like that. They're going to do whatever he says. He's the cash cow. Bottom line.
And look at it this way, guys. Since he's affiliated with PBC, and if the Crawford Canelo fight gets massive numbers in May, Amazon's going to want that rematch.
Yeah. Well, for sure they will.
Remember, they have
going to be a rematch clause, then, you guys think?
I think there'll be a one-way rematch clause. Not for Crawford, but there'll be for Canelo.
I guess that makes
They always put that in place. They always put that in place.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell Crawford to try to negotiate that he doesn't have to have one.
Try to negotiate it.
And as far as Benavidez is concerned, he's got to stay busy. So, and since PBC doesn't like to work with other promoters, I think his next fight will be with David Morrell.
He may fight Morrell next.
Munguia beats Crawford? There ain't no way. No way Munguia beats Crawford, son.
Munguia doesn't have the boxing IQ that Terrence Crawford does.
This guy is off his rocker, man.
Yeah, no.
He's off his rocker.
I'll listen to Jana Beck. I won't listen to Munguia, though.
I mean, come on. Terrence Crawford proved that he's got one hell of a boxing IQ. Look at what he did to Errol Spence in July. He totally made Errol Spence look like he didn't belong in the Olympics, let alone a professional ring.
Why do you got to bring it? Why do you got to go that? Why do you got to go that low, Robbie? Like you have to bring up the Olympics.
I mean, come on.
They're trying to say the guy doesn't even belong in the Olympics just because he lost to Crawford. Now, what are you going to try to do? Call up the IOC and tell him to take him off the roster just because he lost to Canelo?
He got totally destroyed, Joe. Come on.
So you take him off the him off the record of even being in the Olympics because of that?
What's the matter with you?
What are you doing?
Anyway,
was it your mom's birthday last week, right?
It
happy
certainly
birthday.
was. We had a good party for her.
Yeah. Happy birthday to your mom.
Buy her a cake, Robert?
Yeah. Yep, we sure did. I mean, you only
get her a
turn
real
81,
cake, or did you get her a
man.
hostess cupcake?
Oh, stop it.
No.
You get her a real cake, or did you get her a hostess
we did
cupcake?
the real.
What kind of cake was it?
We did the real thing. Come on. She likes chocolate, so we had a nice chocolate cake for her. And
nice.
Had all kinds of decorations and the candles.
Did you get the cake at Publix?
Publix, stop it. What's the matter with you?
Would you get the cake?
Ralph's.
We have good grocery stores around here that make good cakes, so don't worry about that. And the weather sucks out here, guys. It sucks.
Did the cake melt on the way home?
Anyway,
stop it.
no. Anyway, that's all I got for this week. We'll see you next week, guys.
All right, Robert.
All right, get lost.
Oh, stop it. D-Style, thank you so much. He said The Rock screwing over Cody Rhodes. Did you see that? The Rock's going to come back at WrestleMania or something like that and face
really?
Roman Reigns. Yeah.
Oh, wow, good for him, man. That's incredible.
Yeah. It's a big. I mean, that's the biggest match you could ever make.
Isn't he one of the partners on the board now?
Yeah, I guess Vince McMahon. You heard about that whole thing?
Oh, that was sick.
Jesus. And Brock Lesnar was involved in that too, where he was talking about, pictures and everything like that. I mean, it's
That's
insane.
crazy, man.
If you guys haven't read that WWE thing where about Vince McMahon and the lawsuit and the trafficking and stuff, like, go read it. It is insane. Took a dump on that girl. It's crazy.
That's gross.
Yeah, I agree.
That is gross.
All right. 443, you're live.
How you doing?
What's the word?
Troy Graham. How you doing?
Troy, what's
Pretty
happening,
good,
buddy? How you doing, man?
Good. Listen, before I jump into boxing, you just mentioned Vince McMahon. It's some disgusting stuff, but it's nothing new. This stuff has been out there for a while now.
Oh, it has. Different. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's been wrestlers it's been male wrestlers that come out and say that they left on purpose because there was some things that Vince wanted them to do and all that, and they just left. There's always but anyway.
We heard that a long time ago about Pat Patterson. There was a lot of rumors about Pat Patterson and the WWE and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was the one.
He was the main guy that was causing those lawsuits.
Remember. Yep. That's the name I couldn't remember because it was a wrestler, and he was African American guy. He was in great shape. He was good looking.
Brickhouse Brown,
and everything, and they were Brickhouse Brown, and and he was stating that in his contract, Pat Brown wanted to do certain things to him, and he was like, "I'm going to kill these people, so I just rather leave."
Yeah,
So yeah, and then somebody came behind him and took that contract, and guess who that person was that took that contract?
Who was it?
The Rock.
Wow.
It was The Rock that took his contract. Yeah, but because it's all on YouTube. It's a documentary. It's all on YouTube. But
I got to check that out.
The last time I was on your panel, we were having a discussion about Tyson Fury and Usyk. I said point blank, this fight won't happen. I said that. I said until I see them in the ring, I don't believe this fight's gonna happen. All of a sudden now his eyes cut. I also said that Tyson Fury, he has an Achilles heel, which is good boxers, which is what Usyk is, and this is why I believe Usyk will beat him. Now I don't know if you saw the video of how he got cut, but they say it don't look like that's how he got cut. He might have cut himself. The Sheik said he got cameras watching him, and he's not allowing him to leave the country, and there's a whole lot going on. But
now that cut, it was an elbow right on top of his eye. It was a short little elbow, and I tell you, after watching MMA, after feeling some of those elbows too, you have to you just have to graze it. You know what I mean? You really do. Your elbow is just
you see
bone,
the video,
man. Yeah, it was a short left that missed, and he caught him with that elbow. So it didn't. Okay. I thought it was intentional at first, but then you looked at it, it was just inside fighting. That's all it was.
No, but he has very soft, facial tissue and stuff. That's how he got cut up against Wally.
It's tissue.
Real soft facial tissue. To get cut up like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the truth is, as long as he stays in country and they don't let him leave, the fight will go off. Anyhow he's allowed to leave the country, that fight will never happen. Never, ever happen. As long as they keep him behind there, he's going to have to fight. There's too much money being put out, too much promotion.
Oh, for sure.
Great. I'm sure you saw the promotion for the fight already, the cowboy thing and everything.
Yeah,
it's actually very great. Right?
Huge promotion.
They rescheduled it for May 18th. You know that, right?
Yeah, and if I was Usyk, I would go after that eye all day long. But boxing is in a different space to me because I'm in my 50s. So you got this young man here, Shakur, he's going to retire. And he says he's going to retire.
He's not retiring.
And my question is, how do you retire from something you haven't started yet? You haven't done anything. So how are you retiring? Right?
Exactly.
That's my question. You got another young man paying for wants 2 Ferraris before you even sit down to a negotiation. How do you negotiate? How do you start a negotiation of telling people you want this before you even sit down to the table? That's not how business works. Remember we had that conversation too about about sitting down and having a negotiation and so forth, right?
Yeah. I never
How do you
understood.
go in?
I never understood not even wanting to sit down with somebody, just automatically just refusing. I mean, you see what's going on over there. At least hear the guy out,
And this is the one, and I can speak on this subject. What in the hell is that? When now the whole thing is if a Tank and Haney fight, that's actually an African American fight. It shouldn't be fought overseas. What the hell is an African American fight? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Does anybody know what that is?
No.
I don't know.
Because Ali fought overseas, and I could keep rattling off great fighters that fought overseas. Tyson fought overseas.
Yeah.
So why is it that these fighters, I can't Tank fight overseas now? All these excuses are sickening, and they're just pathetic at some point. Either you're gonna fight or you're not gonna fight. If so, shut up and go sit down somewhere, and we'll just watch somebody else.
There you go.
Just that simple.
All right, Troy.
Look, y'all have a good night, and
You too. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. I was gonna say have a good night. And, as I told you last time, brother, this fight will not happen. Tyson Fury will find a way to get out of there, but if they keep his butt in Saudi, they're gonna make him fight Usyk, and I guarantee it, he's losing.
There you go.
I guarantee it.
All right. You're on record.
And
Perfect.
You can call me on that.
There it is. All right, Troy. Beeb, let's see here. D-Style. Where's he at? Thank you so much. He said he wants Roman Reigns to break Bruno Sammartino's record. No, I don't want that to happen. You know how long Bruno Sammartino was there? I mean, like crazy amounts of time. He hasn't even beaten Hulk Hogan's record yet. Reese Mac, this is interesting. This is an interesting question. Let's go into it. Shakur Stevenson has taken to social media and retired. I'm officially retiring from the sport of boxing. Quote, I'll be in the gym forever, perfecting my craft and helping the next generation become great and chase their dreams. His words, not mine. But I ain't FW this week boxing game. All right. Beeb, Reese Mack says, could Shakur have been so hurt by the criticism of his last performance that he retired because of it? That's an interesting take. I don't think that's the case. I think maybe he's lobbying for a bigger fight.
I do think he's hurt by the criticism, and I do think he's looking for attention. I think he's looking for attention.
Yes.
That's all he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that, but I do think he was definitely hurt by the criticism, for sure. Absolutely hurt by that criticism. Let's see what else here. What else we got? Jake Paul versus Ryan Borland is set for March 2nd. There you go, Beeb. Ryan Borland is 17-2 in his last fight. His last fight was September of 2022. His status on BoxRec is listed as inactive. Is this really a serious fight for Jake Paul?
Not really, no.
It's a building fight. I get it, but
they're building him, but they're looking for people that have good records, but they're not dangerous fighters.
They're not dangerous. This one is not dangerous at all.
It's not a dangerous fight. There's zero to little chance of this.
And if you look at the guys he's fighting and the guys the guy beat, and again, I mean, he's fighting not me, but again, it's not. It's one of those things where it's like, man,
it's
a tough one.
This should be a routine day for Jake Paul, in my opinion.
For sure. Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney are resuming talks. Does this fight happen? This fight come off? Ryan Garcia let Raleigh go. They said Raleigh priced himself out. I mean, whatever. I'm
not. I have a feeling it won't happen because it's a dangerous fight. I don't think it's a winnable fight for Ryan Garcia. In my opinion, I don't think he beats Devin Haney, and I think they know it too. And maybe he waits a round for Raleigh. I don't know. But who does he fight? There's no one else to fight. Maybe he does do it. Maybe there's no other options out there on the table. Maybe
who else is out there? I mean, he could fight. Listen, there's always guys.
He could fight Jose Ramirez. He could fight.
He's not fighting Jose Ramirez.
He could fight Arnold Barboza, but this is the Haney fight's a bigger fight for him.
Way bigger.
And he could lose. He could lose any 3 of the fights that I just mentioned. Mm-hmm. But at least with the Haney fight, he'll get paid.
Yeah.
So
I agree. Let's see what else here. We got Better Beeve versus Bivol is set for June 1st in Saudi. This is a great fight, Beeve.
It's a great fight.
I mean, who do you like? You know, this is a toss-up type of fight.
It is, but I like Better Beef.
Well, that's because you have recency bias. It's a phrase I've coined over the past few months, if you've been paying attention, recency bias, because Better Beef was the last guy you saw fight. Am I right? You have recency bias.
I got about 7 Better Beef fights in my DVR right now that I routinely watch. So if I have recency bias,
you're really suffering from recency bias.
If I have recency bias, guess what? I'm having it with the last 7 of his fights.
There you go. Carl Weathers, a.k.a. Apollo Creed, passed away this week. I was shocked. He always appeared to be in great shape. He was 76 years old. He looked good. I mean, for 76, he looked great, you know. I think it was Fight Doctor brought this up in the beginning of the show, and I thought it was really interesting. Does Carl Weathers belong in the Boxing Hall of Fame?
Yes.
100%.
Because Sylvester Stallone's in there, so he's got to be in there.
He's got to be, right? I mean, he's the most famous. If you're talking about Hollywood, everybody knows who Apollo Creed is. It's a household name.
He was a former heavyweight champion of the world, man.
And as Fight Doctor pointed out to me, he is 2-1 over Balboa. 2-1? Is he? No.
He's 1-1.
He's 1-1 with Balboa. They didn't. Now, well, if you think about the third, Rocky 3, in the beginning, in that sparring session, Creed got the best of him. So he is kind of 2-1.
It wasn't sanctioned.
A lot of things not sanctioned at Rocky. Did you see him fight Tommy Gunn? Huh?
Those are smokers.
210, Austin, Texas. I don't know if this is Big Texas, but it's Austin, Texas. 210.
It's not Big.
You're live.
No, hey, what's up, guys? Big Texas. How's it going, y'all?
Beeb just let out a big sigh of relief, so we're good, man. What's your name?
Oh, hey, this is Rod from San Antonio, Austin area, man. I appreciate the show. Awesome. I usually save it, but I have to call in. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of boxing going on this weekend, so typically I go down a rabbit hole of all the gossip news, and we got a lot of it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, with Conor Ben, you know, he looked ordinary after he got busted. You know, that's typical. Wasn't surprised about the Fury thing, but the thing is, you know, it's legit. But Fury has played so many games that people don't have no patience for him no more. So they really don't give him a lot of leeway because of his actions and the way he acts.
You know what it's called? Can I tell you what it is? It's called Fury. You know what it is? It's called Fury derangement syndrome. That's what people have. It's called Fury derangement syndrome.
I know you love him, B. I know you love him. I know you love the guy, but I like Fury too, man. But boxing fans are allowed to be finished of what is it called, Finkel? Because
yes.
And I blame the fighters. You remember wrestling? When we used to watch wrestling back in the day. We used to have the wrestlers that were bad guys, and then we become good guys, and then we root them against them as bad guys. Even Hulk Hogan was a bad guy when he was in the NWO, right? Boxers do the same thing. They do things that you want them to do, and you know you become impressed with them, and then they start doing some diva stuff or something that just turns you off. So I put that a lot on the fighters. People are, oh, the fans are so fickle. No, it's boxers are crazy. That's what it is.
But let me ask you a question.
Boxing.
Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Have you been diagnosed with Fury derangement syndrome?
No, man. I'm telling you, man. I was a Fury maniac. I'm telling you, I was like, man. I mean, I still go at the guys that are still like making excuses on Twitter about the Wilder fight. You know, posting funny videos of Tyson Fury dancing in his tighty whities. You know, when they get mad and they're still talking about it was a bad deal, but. That's just how it is, man. But what I'm afraid of, but what's worse is the American fighters. I'm so disgusted with our guys here. And with Saudi, what I worry about is boxing always has a way of, you know, ruining the good thing. These guys are coming in with money. They want to make fights. And then you got guys like Tank saying, "Oh, I need 2 Ferraris," and they're brats. They're all brats.
They
man.
are.
Ryan Garcia, Tio. They're so frustrating. This is why American boxing ain't going nowhere. You know, the foreign fighters are doing better. But I did love Turkey Al-Ashik's reply. Did y'all see that? His reply to Tank
I did.
Davis?
What did he say?
He said, I don't have 2 Ferraris for you, but I got 2 boxing gloves for you.
Yeah, he's like, I'll give you 2 boxing gloves, because I'm like, man, these guys are brats, man. This is what's ruining our boxing in America. You know, our guys are, we just lost it. That's why the overseas are taking over. But with that said, man, I'm just, you know, I'm glad about the Russians facing off. You know, you're gonna quickly see the WBC change tune and all of a sudden before those guys, right? But I don't know, man. It's just, man, I got so much to unpack, so much stuff has been, you know, swirling around what's that gossip site called where you know, it's just a bunch of celebrity gossip?
TMZ.
TMZ.
Yeah, it's all,
Eric's on there all the time.
All the time.
That's where Eric gets his news.
Yeah, but it's just it's funny. It's funny. It's frustrating, and man, I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. I think it was about Tank. Yeah, but yeah, it's just these guys are just so frustrating to hear. And you know what? I do want the Benavidez Canelo fight, but at the same time, I'm so fed up with everybody stalling and waiting on the fights like this. You know what I mean? So I would like him to just retire. We need a reset. And the guys and everybody's a hypocrite. The guys that are attacking Canelo, I don't like Canelo, but guys that are attacking Canelo for not fighting Benavidez, they don't have that same energy when Morrell's calling out Benavidez. They're under the same stable. They were supposedly in talks until Canelo landed on PBC Island, and then Benavidez changed tune. So it's just frustrating, man. I want Canelo to ride off into the sunset. Him and Crawford, they hopefully can get a fight. Crawford's up there too in age, and I just wish Crawford would have came out of the show early. And I'm sure he has kind of regrets, because now that he is, you're like, man, this guy's clever. He's funny. Like, why didn't you do this earlier? Right? This is fun, and he's already 36 now. But that's all I got, guys. So I just enjoying the show, man. I'll probably just press replay when I'm at work tomorrow. But
I appreciate it, man.
Just keep the content coming, guys.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
All right. And last but not least, 410. I am the king of Baltimore. 410. You're live.
What's up there, dweeb?
Yeah.
What's up there, Mr. Potato Head?
That's why you sat on hold waiting for me, son. You do what I say.
Why do you put him at the last?
Do what I say, son.
He's always on the back end.
He's one step underneath Big Texas. All right. That's why he's waiting online 40 minutes waiting.
If Big Texas is on the line,
you wait for me, son. You know why you wait for me? Because I tell you to wait for me. Because I put everybody else online first. Yeah. I'm the king of Baltimore. Start respecting it.
You're the main event, Jerry. You're like the
main event. He's like the fight after the main event. So when the crowd's clearing out, like nobody's watching that fight. They're all hitting the exits.
Saying the best, remember the Kings of Comedy. The Kings of Comedy, how they used to make Bernie Mac go last because he was the best. He was the funniest.
I thought Steve Harvey went last in there.
That's right.
Wasn't it?
They got rid of Steve Harvey.
They didn't get rid of Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey ran the show.
Yeah, he just did he did the introductions. He didn't do it.
Stop. What's the matter with you?
Okay, shut your pie hole 1 second. Let me get this off. Canelo Alvarez is not going to be fighting Bud Crawford. So fuck what you heard, some beat writer or some guy at ESPN. Boxing's full of rumors. If you listen to Canelo Alvarez, he said repeatedly, not fighting him, not interested in fighting him. I won't get no credit. When Canelo was at 54, he had Amir Khan move up one weight division. Khan was at 47. He moved up one weight division.
Oh, he went
Canelo's
to 160.
never heard the end of that.
He went to 160. He went to 160. They fought at. They actually fought at 155.
No.
They fought at 155. They fought at 155.
They fought at 55. They fought at 55. Khan moved up one weight division to fight him. And when he did, Canelo never heard the end of it. I already see online where people are saying Canelo's dragging up a guy 3 weight division below. Yeah, it would be great. And I think Crawford, man, if anyone can do it, he could do it. They're both the same height. Crawford has a longer reach. Crawford has great boxing. He's everything he is, but people are overrating Crawford off of that Spence win. They just simply are. They Spence. Everybody that Crawford fought did better than Spence. Everything that Spence had done had caught up to him in that fight. And it's not to take away from Bud Crawford because he did what he is supposed to do. But that was not the Spence. That was not nothing close to Spence. People were overrating him. 3 division jump. What happens there is he starts fast against Canelo. He gets out 3 or 4 rounds. And from the 4th round on, it gets more problematic. And by the end of the fight, he either gets knocked out or he gets beaten up badly. He's not big enough to fight Canelo. Never mind the weight on what it benefits Canelo. We don't know what Bud Crawford can do at 160. We don't know if his endurance is going to be the same. His speed probably won't be the same. Yeah, he might have a boxing pedigree higher than Canelo's, but the fight ain't going to happen. Canelo's got to fight. Listen, Bud Crawford was involved in the most anticipated fight in boxing since Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, and it did 650,000 pay-per-views. That's half of what a non-title fight with Tank Davis did against Ryan. Half. The money's not going to be there. It's just not. People need to forget about it. It's not going to happen. Canelo's at the end of his career. He's going to take a couple easy fights and either retire, or he's going to take easy fights and then maybe Benavidez or a Bivol rematch. And that's going to be that. He's not going to fight Bud Crawford. That's a legacy killer. If he loses to a guy jumping up 3-4 weight classes, that's a legacy killer. I would, if it was big money, I'd say maybe he would do it anyway. And I could be wrong. Maybe he does it anyway, but I don't see it, and I know people are talking about it because that ESPN writer said that, but he could be wrong. Likely he is wrong. That's what these guys do. They spread rumor and innuendo. And also,
so do you think you have better sources than the ESPN guys?
Yeah, because I'm not looking for the Yeah. Hey, shut your pie hole with that.
I'm trying. You're entertaining, I'll tell you that.
Spence Crawford negotiation, Dan Raphael, a boxing insider, during that negotiation, he came out and he said, the fight signed, the venue, I can't confirm, but I know what it is. The fight's a done deal. Everything's good to go. Don't worry about it. 4 days later, Crawford came out and announced he was fighting David Avanesian on BOKO Prime. These guys look to get likes. They look to get attention. No one else has reported it but that offbeat ESPN writer. And I'm telling you right now, there's no credibility to that.
The offbeat ESPN writer that works for ESPN Deportes and is renowned in Mexico as their top boxing journalist. That guy? That's the deadbeat. Okay, I gotcha.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, that guy.
Why not?
Just like Dan Raphael. Just like the many things that get reported that don't come true. Boxing is full of rumor and innuendo. A few months ago, it was Canelo's fighting Jaime Munguia. It was a foregone conclusion. 2 weeks later, what happened? Jaime Munguia signs to fight John Ryder. Absolutely not did it happen. Understand, these guys are looking for likes, and you guys should know. You guys should know that. Nobody else is reporting that. Well, he's reporting that. You haven't heard Bud Crawford or Canelo talk positively about it like it's some conclusion. So don't be surprised when it doesn't happen. And lastly, Tyson Fury. I'm a little disappointed, like anybody else, that fight got canceled. Why he was hard sparring just a couple weeks out from the fight, beyond me. I guess maybe that's not so abnormal. But here's what I'd say. If Tyson Fury is the fighter that he has been, and it's very clear by the condition that he's in, that he didn't take Ngannou seriously. That was a career high weight. He was second fat as fuck.
Doesn't even matter.
This fight, he's taken seriously.
Doesn't matter.
Well, it does matter.
Take it seriously all you want.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't, bro.
Well, it does matter. Well, you can eat those words when you see how Ngannou does against AJ, and you'll say,
yeah.
Well,
I tell you what,
we'll
find out.
He hasn't had a boxing career.
We'll find out.
He hasn't had a boxing career because he pursued a UFC career, but he's got a boxing background, and he's a big, strong athlete.
I think Jerry's outpointing you in this debate right now, man. I got to give him credit. I think
Jerry's on cocaine or something like that because Jerry.
This is the first time.
He's trying to make an argument. He's trying to make an argument that Ngannou's a better fighter. Stop it.
I gotta give.
Stop
Well,
it.
he is.
I gotta give Jerry.
He's a better
Mostly
boxer
it was-
than Tyson Fury.
He didn't say that.
I didn't say he was a better boxer. I'm just saying. What I'm saying is the guy has boxing pedigree,
And that automatically puts him, not one pro fight, but that automatically puts him in the class with AJ. Stop it. You're embarrassing yourself.
It puts him in a place where he's not an easy answer.
On that
and if you're
powder,
out of shape,
son.
he's even more complicated of an answer because he's big, he's strong, he's athletic, and he has a boxing pedigree in his background. You see, you can't.
Pedigree is not the same thing as a
popular
world
narrative.
champion, professional world champion. You know how different that is? Do you have any clue how different that is?
Well, do you
Being
have
a
any
professional
clue?
fighter
Because you've seen a
versus
world
just being an
champion
MMA fighter.
fight him.
Big difference.
You've seen a world champion.
But I will
fight
tell you
him,
this. But I will
and
tell you
you've
this.
seen the result.
I will tell you
Basically
this.
A draw. So do you have
Omar
a clue?
Rodriguez
If the
says.
question is, do you
Omar
have a clue?
Rodriguez says.
You don't
And I'm going to
have
put you on
a clue.
hold for this. Omar Rodriguez says, I trust Jerry. He has better sources than ESPN. Oh, my God. Are you for real? B, but we having this conversation? Are we having this conversation? Jeremy, bring you back on.
I don't have an agenda.
He chases the dragon
You
on the
see, I
regular.
don't need like.
The fight doctor says,
I
I
don't
agree.
need
This
likes,
caller sounds
and
like he
I don't
chases the
need-
dragon on the regular. Oh, my God.
Get him, Jerry.
Just
Get him.
comment, bro.
Put
This
him in
is
his
why I'm the
place.
king of Baltimore, B, because he
You ain't got
can't.
none, bro.
He can't.
This guy's
You got
cooking you like
nothing,
Coach
bro.
C used to.
You got.
I
popular
agree, I
opinion,
agree, I'm cooking him.
fanboy Shit.
I'm cooking him.
This
It's
guy-
over
Not
with.
cooking nothing.
Tell me if
You
this
can't
sounds
even
like a
cook
phony hang up
fucking
right
hot
here.
dog.
All right. Now
Oh,
that we
you
got it
did
rid of
to him.
Jerry.
Now he's gonna cry in the chat for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, he's going to cry. Of course he's going to cry in the chat. What else is he going to do? I don't blame him for crying in the chat. You know what? If I got spanked like that in a debate, I'd cry in the chat too. I'd sit there and whine like a little hoe. And I expect him to do the same in the chat. He brings up the point again, and he brings up the same point that I brought up earlier, actually. We're going to watch Ngannou fight AJ. And if that fight is even close, you're right. We can throw, like I said, you can take the Tyson Fury fight and throw it out. But if AJ dog walks him, then that fight meant something. I don't care if he came in out of shape. A guy that comes in out of shape, it doesn't even matter. He should have been able to handle Ngannou, and he wasn't. He was not able to handle him. So
Yeah.
there you go. There you go. All right, guys, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Joe Habib on X at jhabib1. Find our YouTube channel at ringsidereporterlive.com. You could find me on Twitter at ringside73, or you can find me on X at ringside73. Guys, we will see you next week. We had a special time because it's Super Bowl, 11 o'clock
11 o'clock
for our UK brethren.
next
There you
week.
go.
UK show.
There it is. All right, guys.